99X, it's Barnes and Leslie. We are back. Max is here from Eve 6. If you're just tuning in, he put a tweet out that kind of got people riled up. He's been kind of explaining, and again, this is not a bit. Some people are like, this is another bit. This is not a bit. We haven't talked to Max in 20 years until we saw this come up.
And by the way, I do need to say that Max has kind of become famous for the stuff that he posts on Twitter, now X. I mean, there's been articles written about it. So here we go.
We have a few more callers, and then I don't want to make them wait much longer. That's why I want to get to them. But if you're just tuning in, the tweet, again, for those that didn't hear it, another thing that is called X by unimaginative and desperate to seem cool CEOs are 1990s alternative rock radio stations that have all gone under. End quote. And some people, some listeners, some people who work here inside the building didn't say, he's talking about 99X, but he is talking about a group of stations that are all trying to survive. We just came back, so we're just getting it together. Let's go to, hey, Morning X, who is this?
Hey, this is Amber.
Hey, Amber, you're on with Max from Eve 6. What's on your mind?
Oh, hey. So, Max, I was doing a little reading up on you, and I was wondering, what is going on your Twitter page, man?
Well, that's a good question. Yeah. Well, I guess it was, about, 3 years ago now, in the depths of quarantine, strange time for all of us, for certain. Speaking for myself, we were, we'd had to cancel tours like all bands did, and we're pretty much relegated to our sofas, and just out of probably boredom and mild psychosis, just started kind of exercise in. It's tough to kind of talk about it because it's everything all at once. I was going to, rigorous honesty, I guess, in a way, but it's also performative. I'm also talking about some political opinions of ours that came as a surprise to some people, I think, and that got people's attention. So, yeah, I don't know. It's, I just sort of started feverishly posting, and it kind of turned into a thing. I don't really know how else to qualify it. It's, some people enjoy it, some people find it, severely obnoxious, and do
you think it helps you or hurts you as a band? Like, this is an example of where, unanimously people were like, you guys should just quit playing the music. I mean, there's only so much airtime. Why would you do, and you're explaining yourself, I'm just saying this is what people were saying in social. Amber, thank you for calling.
Yeah, thanks, Amber.
Oh, no problem.
Did you want to say anything else? I don't want to cut you off.
Yeah, no. And I mean, I appreciate you explaining it, because I enjoy reading some of your stuff because some of it's funny, but at the same time, just be careful talking about your fellow 90s band friends, because, sometimes you can read it and you can laugh, but then sometimes it's like, what do you mean you want to be like, the lead singer of Smash Mouth, or, one of the guys from Third Eye Blind had sex, with your girlfriend, like, just be careful. And especially like when you're writing Maynard, like, the Tool Army, the Tool Army of all things, like they can.
Wait, hold on. Who had sex? Wait. Who, Amber, who had sex with Stephen Jink? What was that you're talking about?
It was, well, there was a tweet on there saying the guy from Third Eye Blind had sex with your girlfriend, and like,
oh boy,
there's things like that, on your tweet, and it's like, you can read it, and some people may laugh, but like, other bands can read it, and they can get offended. So just be careful. Do you know what I'm saying? Because Twitter, like you said, like some people can read it and they can laugh, and some people can be like super offended, and especially like when you were talking about like the radio stations that have the X after their name, we're just out here to have fun, man. We're appreciating that all of the radio stations are coming back out, because that's where our memories are. So
that's awesome, Amber. Thank you. That's great. Thank you for that little lesson on their Twitter, because I didn't see some of that stuff.
Me either.
Yeah. Have a great day. We'll see you later. All right. One more's been holding. Sorry, Amber, I thought you were done. One more's been holding on. Let's just get to them real quick. Hey, Morning X, you're on with Max from Eve 6.
There was no call parked at this.
They left. They were parked and they left.
Yeah. So
anyway, Max.
There were definitely opinions, Max.
Yeah. No, there's definitely some opinions out there. Again, I guess I just want to be crystal clear in saying, like, we root for alternative rock radio. The way that the tweet came off, obviously it wasn't, I didn't forge it very well. And so yeah, I do want to apologize to your listeners who were offended by it, and to you guys and anyone who works in radio. I was attempting to lambast the corporation, but it sounded like I was coming after the people who are carrying the torch for alternative rock. That's the last thing I want to do.
Well, don't worry, because we lambast them also. I mean, and I'm being serious, because the minute we were coming back, one of the things was we're not going to come back and play some corporate game. None of us wanted to do that.
Right.
It's not the spirit of 99X.
And I will have real. Go ahead, Leslie.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say the fact that you took the time to come on, knowing this could be, a little dicey. We appreciate that, and I do, and thank you for the apology.
I think there's a real opportunity for radio right now, and that's probably why there are stations coming back, because I know I do sort of tire of being fed stuff by purely algorithmic, incentives or whatever. And like to have human curators, I think there's an opportunity for radio, like as it was intended to be, if it can be that and not be another just like data collecting thing like the streaming giants are, and actually have like people saying, I like this song, a human being saying, I think this song is good, it moves me, I'm going to play it, not because I'm being, forced to or whatever, but just because I dig the rock.
Max, I do want to bring up one quick thing, because you have, throughout your career tried to help other people with your advice column, Heart in a Blender, and I heard that was coming back. Or is it back? So,
actually, this is maybe a fitting announcement forum. So I started writing this advice column for Input magazine. Basically, every outlet I've written the advice column for has since died. So I started writing it for Input magazine. It began as sort of a half joke with the editor who reached out to me to interview John Hinckley. This is a whole other story. I'm going to get off on a tangent if I go there. But started out as sort of a half joke, turned into a thing that I really enjoyed doing and that people liked reading. I think what we're going to be doing with it is bringing it to the Eve 6 Patreon.
Great.
3 weekly essays about what it was like, what happened, what it's like now, and an advice column on the Eve 6 Patreon, as well as new music.
All right, well, I'm glad we did this, because I think you're a good guy.
Me too.
And again, this wasn't about us. People are like, why are y'all making a big deal? We just asked the question to fans. That was it. I mean, they spoke.
We aired it out. Yes, so thank you.
I'm glad you guys asked me to do this too, to clear the air. I hope any other radio people who may have been offended get to hear it. We love and are grateful for alternative radio, and wouldn't have a career if it weren't for alternative radio. And I'm just remembering one thing that I want to say very quickly. I know we're running out of time, but one of my memories of 99X is playing acoustically at the station. Leslie, I think you were interviewing.
Yes.
Yeah, we were there.
It's the only time I forgot the words to the Heart in a Blender song on air and sang I think I sang the first verse 2 times.
Wow.
So yeah, I'll always remember that. I don't know. I'm not sure anyone else noticed, but I did, and I was mortified.
Well, let's play the real thing then, since we have you here. Let's unpause Eve 6 and hang tight with us, and we'll wrap up with Max. This is Eve 6. he's sorry, and I can hear it in his voice, and he didn't mean, the way it came off.
No,
so
he didn't.
Sometimes it's good to talk things out. This is 99X. Eve 6, if you haven't caught what's been going on, we've been talking to Max from Eve 6. If you missed it, go back to the podcast later. You can hear his conversation, but we appreciate you apologizing and explaining more what you were going at on 2 hours of sleep, and that makes sense now. I get it.
Yeah, going on 2 hours of sleep and then logging on to Twitter, you're definitely asking for it. It's like that point.
Yeah, indeed. All right, Max, hold tight 1 second. Thank you for coming on. This is the original.
Thank you, Max.
99X.
The Morning X with Barnes and Leslie. 99X.